What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Legacy United Origins Wheeljack. So I got this one from Dr. Diecast. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. And we have looked at the other Origins figures, the Bumblebee and the Jazz. I don't have them here, but the trio is now completed with this figure. So I think a lot of people are happy about that. But let's take a look at this guy. We got some nice red, white, and green paint here for the logo. The head is painted with silver and then blue for the eyes. It's actually a pretty good looking head sculpt. And then you got the rest of this. It's very, very kibbly. I mean, the legs, the side of the legs, the back of the legs, the backpack. I mean, it's just so much kibble on it. I mean, it looks fine from this angle, but it is very, very chonky. He does have some articulation here, so let's go over that. It is a little bit hindered with all this stuff, but head's actually on a ball joint, so it goes up and down. You get side to side, rotates all the way around. This chest panel tends to pop out. It's supposed to peg in back here. One of my issues is that just doesn't stay secure. It constantly pops out. And that's just the design. You know, it's not designed well. You can't move the wings, and one thing you might have to do outside of package is there's a little slot here, and it actually slots into the back of the wings, which is, you know, not typical. So just know that you have to have the wings at that angle. You can't articulate them if you want to plug that backpack in, which I think you do. Shoulders rotate around on this joint out to the side on a hinge. Rotation at the bicep. Single jointed elbow gets 90 degrees. Very ugly arm, in my opinion. The wrist can rotate. A rotation here at the waist. Legs will kick up to there. Back to there, hindered by his backpack. Out to the side. Actually, it doesn't go all the way. It goes up to there. Rotation of the thigh at a cut joint. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee. And the ankles are on a ball joint, so you get tilt side to side. And this is one of the issues. This panel loves to pop off as you're messing with it, so just be aware of that. Yeah, just things like to pop out. But this foot can side to side, forward and backwards, and it can rotate just due to the ball joint at the foot. We do get a couple accessories here. So we get the blaster here. It's done in the same green translucent plastic. I'm not a big fan of it. It's painted silver on top, but they've intentionally left the tip unpainted because that can support a blast effect. So you can put that here, according to that more traditional Wheeljack look. It only comes with one, so you can't get a gun and the shoulder cannon, unfortunately. Or you can put it in his hand like that. You can also stow it here in the back if you want. You also get these little cog/weapon, blast effect, whatever you want them to be. They'll plug into here, and they're actually work in vehicle mode as well, so we'll show you that a little bit later. You can plug those in back there. Or you can take it and plug it into the gun. And you have that look. I think that looks silly, but you can do that. Or you can take a blast effect. Now, it doesn't come with this blast effect. This is from another figure. But you can use the standard blast effects with this guy if you like. Me personally, I would just store these things on the back and not really plan to use them. Last effect is, our last accessory is this. Now, this comes straight in package just to save on space. So you do have to disassemble it. You basically slide it forward on these joints. So it'll come straight, and you just kind of put it together and make sure it's on a V like this. Now, I recommend you don't do that too many times, but if you come to the back here, this will plug in. There's two little slots here and two pegs. So just line those up. And actually, it will fit those effect pieces back there. And now you can store this. He is very back heavy, but you can store it, and it does look kind of neat. It's just very kibbly and back heavy. And for quick size comparison, there it is next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. And it does fit in nicely as a deluxe class figure, right, with all the other Autobot cars. The problem is this is actually a Voyager class, and it's at the Voyager class price point. Now, this guy was also a Voyager when he came out, so I don't know. Their classifications are all over the place, but there you go for a sense of scale. It does fit nicely in robot mode. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into vehicle mode. And if you haven't already, just remove all the weapons. You can set those aside. And we'll get him transformed. We'll start on the back here. Go ahead and unplug the backpack from the wings. That'll allow you to take the wings, rotate these down into the back so they sit flat, like that. And we just leave that backpack there for now. Come to the front, we're going to rotate the waist 180 degrees. Lift up on this chest piece. We're going to rotate the head 180 degrees. Slide this down and peg that in. Make sure that face is flat. And then that pegs into his stomach, basically. Lift this up. We're going to have this joint facing upwards. Open up this panel. Rotate the hand and then fold it in. And then this is going to rotate. There's a little tab right here and a slot right there. So you want to line those up like that. So it looks like this. And then same on this side. Rotate this so you have this panel up. Rotate the hand. Fold it in. Bring this around so that that peg tabs in. And then bring these two together. And they're going to kind of combine right there. Like that. Next we can bring this up. There's two little tabs on the front of this arm piece. They're going to plug into the front of the vehicle windshield. And now we can take care of the legs, which have a lot of kibble and parts on them. And that makes up the whole rest of the vehicle, which is kind of crazy. Come to the bottom, we're going to unpeg this panel from here. And then we can unpeg this from here, rotate this around, rotate that around, fold the foot down, and then rotate it in, and that's going to slide in right there. For the bottom of the foot, we're going to open up this panel, and that's going to be his rear door. All right, next come to the knee here, and you're going to unpeg it from here. There's a little tab right there on the inside of the knee. So you're going to have this leg at an angle. Bring this around. There's 3 tabs, 1, 2, 3. They're going into a slot on the shoulder and then into the windshield here. So get those lined up and pegged in. So it should look like that. Bring this piece of glass forward. That's going to sit right here. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and I'll just go a little faster this time. Open that up, open this, rotate this around, bring this up, rotate your foot in, slide that in, open up this panel, and then open this up, and undo your knee, and bring this panel around, and you can plug that into front here. And make sure you get all 3 pegs in. Bring this around, and that's just going to sit right there. Same with this one. And then you can tab these two together, these 2 panels together. Bring this up so it sits right on the inside. And all of this is kind of loose and, you know, waffly until you bring this down. And then that kind of solidifies everything. So make sure all these tabs, 2 here and then 2 on the side, make their way in to the vehicle mode, kind of like a sandwich, and then give it a nice squeeze. Come to the bottom, I'm going to unpeg this chest and come back. There's 2 tabs. They're going to fit into the feet, so they'll sit like that. All right, and there's Wheeljack in his Cybertronian vehicle mode, and it does look pretty nice. You got some silver, red, and blue paint up here, green stripe along the side. You have green paint there, translucent green for the glass all the way around. It is pretty much hollow. You can see right through it. There's a little bit of gray paint right here along this edge. Here's the back. And I forgot to ask Dr. Diecast to borrow his Cybertronian Bumblebee, but you can fold up his wings and he can store right in here. That's the whole gimmick. That's why he's designed this way, kind of as a shelf warmer. But you can do that. You can store other figures inside. It doesn't have to be Bumblebee, I guess. But yeah, it's a really good looking vehicle overall. You can take the little weapons here and plug them into the front. I actually forgot what they did with these, but do that. You can take his gun or shoulder cannon and plug that in there. And then lastly, you can take this shield and you can do 2 things with it. And like I mentioned, out of box, it came as a single piece. You're going to slide these off, and then you're going to attach them like this. And I don't recommend doing that too many times, but basically you can make it like a road that he's driving on. I think it's silly, but you can do that. Or you can use it for its true intended purpose, which is the shield, for the blast shield for his vehicle mode. And that looks really cool. I think that's a nice option there for display. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Earthrise Optimus. And you can see definitely doesn't scale with, at least with Earthrise anyway. And that's because they, did the little gimmick where you can put Bumblebee inside. That also, I guess, justifies the Voyager class definition. But to me, the robot mode is definitely not Voyager scale. But there you go for comparison. So final recommendations for the Transformers Legacy United Origins Wheeljack. And I think this will surprise some people out there, but I think I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 partial recommendation. And a lot of it has to do with the robot mode. The robot mode just doesn't really work for me. It's very clunky, and the articulation doesn't work well, and then there's panels that kind of come unplugged. The real purpose of this is the vehicle mode. So if you bought this and your intention was to display it in vehicle mode with the other Cybertronian vehicles, Bumblebee and Jazz, I think you're going to be happy. Especially if you're using the gimmick of storing Bumblebee inside, or just displaying them together, driving along. I think you're going to be happy with it. But if you're planning to use it in robot mode, I don't think robot mode works very well. And it is a Voyager class, so you have the Voyager price of $35, whatever it is. I don't think this is worth the $35. They just threw in this extra piece of plastic here. And I mean, you get a gun, but honestly, it just does not feel like a $35 figure. But they knew people were going to pay for it because now you have the trio. You can complete the trio. And they do look good together. I just don't think they really justified that Voyager class price. But either way, I think people will enjoy this Cybertronian vehicle mode. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Dr. Diecast for allowing me to take a look at his copy. And we'll see you next time.